Shatter Me series in order. I don't know, guys. This I'm not sorry to say that I didn't like. We have, oh, and then they like stayed inside and like wrote books all day. Liam just doing whatever he was doing completely ruined the entire book for me. Oh my god, did I say DeGrotus this entire time? And I put this as my favorite cover as she's running away from that gross dude. If you guessed Boys of Tommen, you're absolutely correct. Like, I think about this book every single day. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we are going to be ranking my top 10 books and my bottom 10 books that I read in 2025. Now, before we get started, I do have a few things I have to say. First of all, I did not rank any rereads that I read, so I did reread like Saving Six and, you know, some of the ACOTAR series, but I'm not putting them in my ranking. These are all books that I read for the first time. Second, I do only have 8 books instead of 10 for my bottom books of 2025 because I did not read that many terrible books this year. So I didn't want to throw in like a book that I kind of liked just to get it up to 10. I didn't want to lie, okay? So I say we start with the bottom books because I hate being negative and I want to get it over with, and then we'll go on to the best books. Okay, so we're starting at number 8, like I said, of the bottom books because I don't have 10. And this is gonna be like the best of the worst, I guess. So for number 8, I have Define Me by Tahereh Mafi. Now, let me explain myself because I really do like this series. It's really good. It's definitely not what I was expecting though. The series definitely took a turn, I think, after Ignite Me. And that's where I started to get like a little confused with the series. Like, I didn't like it as much as I did when I first started it. Shatter Me series in order. I don't know, guys. Yeah, okay, so I actually didn't know that this book came after Ignite Me. I don't know, I guess it just didn't click in my brain. Again, like, the series just took a complete turn from, like, one, what I thought it was going to do, which is, like, I mean, fine, like, why are you supposed to predict a book? Like, you're not, hello? I don't know, it's just something didn't sit right with me after Ignite Me. That's why I haven't picked up, like, literally the last book in the series because, like, I'm not, like, interested anymore. So, unfortunately, so sorry to say. Now, number 7. This I'm not sorry to say that I didn't like, and that's Onyx Storm. This is a lot of people's, like in their top 10 of the year, and I have to say, this book, like, did not hit for me whatsoever. I didn't like the ending. I think it was ridiculous. I think everybody hyped this book up so much. Like, I feel like the entire Empyrean series, like, Fourth Wing was one of my favorites in, I don't know, 2024, I think I read it. Maybe 2020. No, I didn't read it in 2025. I read it in oh my gosh, wait, we're in 2026. Don't remember. But that was, like, one of my favorites of the year when I read it. And then, of course, I read Iron Flame after that, and that was not great. I didn't love that. And then we got Onyx Storm, and I didn't like it even more. So, like, I don't know what is going on with the series. I hope it gets better, but like, it's just a downward slope for me. Like, each book is worse and worse, so I'm really scared for the next one. I do have, like, a few tabs. Like, oh my gosh, what's his name? Riddick. Love him. What's the other one? Riddick and like, 2 of the side characters. Love them. Put them in more. Give them more screen time, okay? I'm not interested in Violet anymore. Xaden's, like, okay. I don't know. That's about it. That's all I have to say, and was really disappointed in this book. Okay, and then further disappointments, we have Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This is number 6. I do have to say, I liked how this book set up for, like, the next book, but I don't know. It was, like, boring to me, like, most of the middle of the book. No! The entire book, we were doing the exact same thing over and over again, and there was, like, a few things, like, there's, like, one scene that I have memorized, and it's the one that was also in Throne of Glass, so, like, that's, I think, why I remember it so much, but literally the entire book, we were just doing the exact same thing over and over again. I was bored. There's not much else to say. I also don't remember what I rated any of these books. I believe they're between a 2.75 or a 3, and then, oh, sorry. And then down. And then all of, like, my top ones, I believe, are 4 stars and up. I don't know why I thought I should mention that. Next book we have Ward D by Frida McFadden. I will say, okay, so I think last year, not 2025, but 2024, I read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and I really enjoyed that. That was good. They turned that into a movie. I'm really excited to watch that. But that wasn't bad, and that was like me just stepping my toes into Frida McFadden's books. Little did I know that her books would literally have like the exact same plot for every book, but I can never guess the twists. So like Ward D and The Inmate by Frida McFadden, very, very similar. But they hit every single time and they get me out of a reading slump. I can actually explain this one though, because the other books I couldn't explain because they were in the middle of a series, but this one I can explain because it's a standalone. Okay, so basically the main character stays overnight in a psych ward, and I guess she's like practicing like psychology and like neuro something, and she stays overnight in a ward to try and like be one with the patients, I guess, and to like figure them out. And so she winds up staying overnight. Weird things are happening. You can kind of see where it's going from there. So that's it for Ward D. Then we have Summer in the City by Alex Astor. Okay, so I believe this was her first, I think this was her first romance, because I know she wrote Light Lark, but I don't know if that was her first book. So I kind of liked the male main character. There was some like weird stuff that he said and he did, and it kind of, I said this in one of my other videos, it kind of felt like he was just like a try-hard. Like he was trying too hard, but it wasn't him, it was Alex Astor trying too hard to like make him say things that would like get a good quote. You know what I mean? All I remember is that like she hooked up with some guy one time, and then it jumps like 3 or 4 years later or something. She's in like a writing slump, I guess, and she can't come up with like anything to write. So I guess they find each other, the guy who she hooked up with, and they find each other, and he takes her on dates to get her to be able to write something. I don't know. I think it was a good like plot, but I just didn't like how it went. I didn't love it. That's my story. Okay, now for number 3. I'm so sad to say this. I'm really sad to say this, but I fear I have to. And it's Beach Read by Emily Henry, and I have to explain myself. The hype surrounding this book was insane. I cannot tell you how many times I saw Beach Read on like summer book recs, and I was so excited to pick up this book, and I wasn't a fan. It was like boring. I didn't like connect with any of the characters. There was also barely any like summer aspects to this book. I don't remember them doing anything beach related except maybe going to the beach once or twice, and then they like stayed inside and like wrote books all day. So January and Gus are both writers, and they both write like opposite genres. I think they were both in like a writing slump, so they swap genres. So I think she writes like science fiction or something, and he writes romance. Science fiction, is that a thing? Wait, literary fiction! Okay, I lied. It was literary fiction and romance. But anyway, I was very disappointed in this book. I was so excited to read it, and then I don't know. Okay, next. This was a recent read. This was a very recent read. Collided by Lauren Asher. I knew I wasn't gonna like this book. I knew I wasn't gonna like it because after I finished Throttled, I found one TikTok, and it was like all the books that I hated this year, or like all the books that I despised, and Collided was on there, and I was like, oh great, that literally gives me no motivation to read this book. And I was staring at it for like a year before I picked it up. Finally picked it up, and I did not like it. It was purely physical. It was only lust. There was no love in here. He would talk about her body 24/7 and like nothing about her. Like it was only about her body, only about her appearance, and it was like gross reading his point of view. Like listening to what he had to say about her was disgusting. And like she was okay, it was fine, but I feel like Liam just doing whatever he was doing completely ruined the entire book for me. And like I was disgusted reading his point of view. Sorry for the rant, guys. That was like really not expected. I am really sad though, because this is like F1 racing, and I love F1 racing. Like it's so fun. I watched the F1 movie. It was okay. I didn't love it, but there is a common theme that a lot of people don't like this book after I like looked on TikTok and stuff and like looked at the reviews on Fable and Goodreads, it's a common theme that a lot of people don't like this book, so I don't feel left out. Okay, and last but not least, what I actually meant was absolutely last and absolutely least. Our last worst book of the entire year was Call It What You Want by Alyssa DeGroatis. Oh my god, did I say DeGroatis this entire time? I literally remember saying DeGroatis in my YouTube video, and that is not her last name. Finally, we have conjured up a few. So this is the first one. We have Call It What You Want by Alyssa DeGroatis, I'm pretty sure. Right. What's going on? So I read this book because Call It What You Want is a Taylor Swift song, and I really like Taylor Swift. So basically the main character is like, I think in her senior year of college, and she's living in an apartment building with like her friends, and there's this guy who lives, I think like a story above them or like something like that, and they meet on a bus, I think, or something like that. They hook up like 3 chapters in, and the ending was the worst ending I could have possibly imagined. Like, think of bad and then make it like 5 times worse is the ending of this book. I was fuming. I was literally fuming when I finished this book. I was like, what was even the point of this book? There was 0 point of this entire book. Nothing whatsoever. First of all, I was bored through, like, I want to say the first like few chapters were like, okay. I was like, ooh, this is like pretty good. Like, I was like, you know, another thing is they were talking about pre-gaming the entire book. Literally the entire book was them just being like, oh, let's pre-game before this party, or let's pre-game before this football game. Like, what? I cannot tell you. I could tab how many times they said that, and this book would be like filled with tabs. It's so like cringy too. Oh, it's so cringy. Anyway, I was saying, I feel like this was all boring. This all was like so boring. The beginning was like, okay, like I could get into this, and then like, ugh, okay, like just trekking through. Come on, we could do it. Pushing through, and then we got to the ending, and I was like, what am I reading? Like, there was no point of this book. It was boring. It was cringy. I'm over it. I'm done. Worst book I read this year, and I'm so sad to say it because I hate being negative, but like I actually was fuming. I can't believe that this didn't put me in a reading slump. Okay, now for some positivity after those negative books. We're gonna go on to positives, and these are the top 10 of 2025, and we actually do have 10 for these. Okay, so in 10th place, we have Ignite Me by Tahereh Mafi. Like I said before, after Ignite Me, like, I don't know what happened to me in those books, but we did not connect. This book was great. This book was amazing. And I know that this is very, like, romance heavy, this book, but I'm also, like, a romance reader. The only dystopian book I've ever read was, I think, The Hunger Games, perchance. So this series was, like, my first introduction, I guess, kind of, to dystopian, and it was really good. Here are my tabs. I did them, like, can I speak? I'm really proud of them. I think they're really cute. Aaron Warner, The Man That You Are. I can't really say much on it because it's in the middle of a series and it's like farther into a series. But I mean, there's like a good balance between a lot of like romance and like dystopian plot heavy fantasy-esque things. Okay, next we have another recent read, and this was Zodiac Academy. Basically, there's these 2 twin sisters, and out of nowhere, they just get called to go to this school, and it's Zodiac Academy. It kind of reminds me of Fourth Wing, like the beginning of it, just how like they have to do something to figure out like their powers, I guess. In this sense, it's their powers, but in Fourth Wing, it's like what dragon they get. So I don't know, I kind of like linked the 2 together also while I was like reading this, and I was like, this is kind of like Fourth Wing. I mean, after, it's nothing like Fourth Wing, but it's really good. I was definitely expecting a lot more for this book, considering like the hype around the series, but I also realized that this is the first book in, it's like 30 books apparently Did not know this. I thought I was getting into like a 7-book series, but there's like a bunch of spin-offs. It's recommended that after you read the 3rd book in Zodiac Academy, you go to one of the other series that they wrote that's like a spin-off of this, but it comes, I think, before Zodiac Academy. I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to like figure this out, but I definitely want to read it in like that weird order where it's like chopped up like that, like the first 3 and then like that series. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I was a little bit bored like in the middle of it, but it like picked up like really quick. Like if there was like a little boring part, like the next chapter was something really good. Next we have number 8, and this is literally the last book that I read, and it's An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I heavily enjoyed this book, although it took me a pretty long time to read. I was having a grand old time reading it. The ending was amazing, literally perfect. I'm so excited to pick up the next book. Like, it's not even funny. So basically, Laya is our main character. It's actually 2 POVs, but it was kind of confusing at the beginning. Laya and her brother live with their grandparents, and basically the masks, who are like, I want to say the government, but I don't think that's right. Like, I kind of forgot. I don't know. But basically the masks who kill people killed their grandparents and took her brother. This also happens in the first chapter, so this isn't a spoiler. And so after they took her brother, she has to figure out, how am I going to get my brother back? Like, he's the only thing I have left. So that's her POV. And then we have Elias, who is a mask. And so he is trying to leave the masks. It's like his day of graduating, or like the day before that he's graduating, to become a mask, and he doesn't want to. He's trying to leave. So they wind up finding each other in Blackcliff Academy, which is where Elias is like graduating from, because Laya decides that the only way to get my brother back is to find the Resistance, who is they're like a group of people who go against the masks. So she finds the Resistance, and the Resistance helps her get into the academy so she could spy on them. And so if she helps the Resistance, basically they will help get her brother back. So they meet each other in the academy, and that's about it. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really excited to start the next one. Okay, next, this is number 7. We have Funny Story by Emily Henry. I was definitely not expecting this to be as good as I thought it was going to. Wait, did that make sense? I definitely didn't expect this to be a top book of the entire year, but it was great. I loved it. The quotes that I got from here, like, oh, it was great. It was amazing. So the main character's fiance winds up falling in love with his childhood best friend and leaving our main character. And so the fiance's childhood best friend's boyfriend winds up moving in with the main character, and this is their story. I thought that was so clever. Like, that's like so, I love it. I feel like a lot of Emily Henry's books are like mainly summer, but this one just gave me spring vibes. I don't know what it is, but it was great. I remember literally being in love with Miles while I was reading this book because of like all the things he did, and he was like the definition of if he wanted to, he would. And I loved it. I love him. Oh my gosh, I really want to reread this book. Guys, maybe it's time to reread it. Oh, I love him! Oh my gosh, I remember this. Oh my gosh, I can't. Okay, we will be doing a Funny Story reread very soon because, oh my gosh, I'm literally looking back at my quotes and I'm freaking blushing. I can't. Okay, now for number 6, we have Guild by Raven Kennedy. I read this on vacation with Emma in Florida, and I absolutely loved this book. First of all, can we take a moment to appreciate the cover? Like, it's so pretty. It's literally gorgeous. I put it as on like Fable. If you saw, I think it was your wrap up, at the end of it you can pick like most underrated, like favorite cover, whatever. And I put this as my favorite cover because, like, it's gorgeous. It's so pretty. Anyways, this book is based on the King Midas folktale story. I don't know what to call it. But basically, there's this king living in a castle, and everything he touches turns to gold. So our main character gets turned to gold because of King Midas, and she's living in a cage that goes throughout the entire house that she cannot leave. So the book follows her and finding herself and like her purpose, and It was amazing. It was really good. It's definitely not what I expected whatsoever. I think I went in blind to this book. I didn't even know that this was like the King Midas story. Oh, I forgot to mention that they're in love, but they're also not. Like King Midas and her, he has a queen. Like he has a wife, but she's in love with him, which is why like she doesn't try to escape, but she's like, come on, like you can't like let me out for a little bit. Like I'm not gonna escape. You know I'm not gonna escape. And he's like, but I don't really trust you. So, yeah. And then I read the second one in the series, but I was kind of in a slump, so I didn't love that as much. But the first one's really good. Okay, number 5. I'm so excited to talk about this one. This is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. To give you a quick plot summary, our two main characters marry each other for both of their benefits and fake date during a vacation with the male main character's family. And that's all I have to say, because this book is amazing and you need to read it. It's literally the perfect summer vibes, and the ending of this book was absolutely amazing. I loved it. I literally have to say no more. It was amazing. And it's really short. Literally, it's like, what, 300? It's 330 pages. Like, absolutely. It was so good. Okay, next we have number 4. This was another very, very, very unexpected high rating, and that's Juniper Hill by Devney Perry. I read the first one, Indigo Ridge, in 2024, and I liked it. It wasn't great, but I really wanted to obviously continue the series, so I picked up the second one, and it reminded me very much of a mix of Chestnut Springs series, and it was like basically like 2 or 3 of those books like combined into one. So Memphis is a single mother, and she's running away from her gross boyfriend, husband. I forgot if they're married or not. But she's running away from him. And so as she's running away from that gross dude, she comes to Quincy, Montana, where Knox Eden is. And this is the Eden series, so, you know. So she goes there, and I forgot why she winds up moving into his house, but she was like in her own hotel, and like maybe she couldn't afford it, or I think it had something to do with Eloise, who is Knox's sister, who also has another book. And Memphis is like, oh, okay, you're a hot brother, you're a really hot brother. And so Memphis winds up moving in with Knox, and you can kind of see where it goes from there. But this book was so good. There's a scene that is literally engraved in my mind, and I love it. It's so good. He's so good to her. Like, the baby, normally I don't like babies in like books. Like I feel like it kind of messes up the plot a little bit, but this was perfect. This book is so underrated. Like with the Fable thing that I was just talking about with like Guild and like the prettiest cover, this I put was the most underrated, because I do not see a lot of people talking about this book whatsoever, nor this series. But it's really good. It's amazing. You have to read it. All right, this is where things get serious, guys. We have our top 3, and 2 of these are from the same series. You could probably figure out what it is after I just said that. Oh, I'll give you a second. Hold on. If you guessed Boys of Tommen, you're absolutely correct. Okay, so number 3, we have Redeeming Six by Miss Chloe Walsh. This is Joey and Aoife's story. I can't say much about it because it's the second in Joey and Aoife's story, and it's the 4th in the entire series. So I can't really say much about it, but Joey and Aoife are my favorite couple in the entire Boys of Tommen series. They're amazing. This book is humongous, yet I did not get enough of them. That's all I have to say. I cried. I can't tell you how many times. If you haven't read the Boys of Tommen series, you absolutely need to. And now number 2. This is also no surprise to anybody. We have Releasing 10. I think the tabs kind of say all. I've never tabbed this much in my entire life. I'm gonna start crying if I think of this book too long. This is Liz and Huey's book. Oh my god, I'm gonna start crying. They were childhood best friends in their little friend group. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna like actually... I literally ran out of a tab. I had to write, so there's Lizzie's tab. I had to write Hot Pink on here because I did so many tabs of Lizzie. If you read the Boys of Tommen series, but you haven't gotten like 2 into the series yet, let me just say, there is worse. There is so much worse. There is so much worse than, can't even say his name. I can't say either of their names. But there's much worse than the first one. The second one's even worse. If you know what I'm talking about. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm done. It was amazing. It was perfection. If you haven't read the series, you have to. Now, my favorite book, if you have been here for, I would say, the last 2 months, then you know exactly what I'm going to talk about, because I fear I've talked about it in every single video that I have put out since reading it. And that's The Great Alone by Miss Kristen Hanna. This book was amazing. It was perfection. It's about a family who moves to Alaska because of the dad getting his friend from the military's house. And so they move to that house, and it's basically them in Alaska. And I know you're probably thinking, wow, Gianna, that's really boring. What do you, like, wow, a family moves to Alaska. Whoop-de-doo. Like, what? No. It's fantastic. Like, I think about this book every single day. Every single day of my entire life since I finished this, I have thought about this book. Now, I will say, it did take me a really long time to finish, but we're gonna think of that as me just, like, really enjoying the story, you know? Like, me just, like, taking it all in, like, one page at a time. Lenny, my baby, I love you so much. The amount of plot twists in this book was insane. Like, I can't even, like, begin to explain to you. Like, there wasn't just one that was, like, at the end. Like, there was, like, a plot twist, like, in the middle of the book. Like, when I first, like, literally halfway through the book, it was already 5 stars. Halfway through this book, already 5. And then we got a little bit further in, and I was like, oh yeah. And then we finished it, and I said, this is, like, 10 out of 5. 10 out of 5 stars. Like, this is, like, the best book I ever read. Yes, Boys of Tommen is my favorite series of all time, but this is my favorite, like, individual standalone book in the entire world. I fear nothing could ever beat this. We're locked. And that's my story. That's all I have to say. So, guys, that's it. Those are my top 10 and my bottom 8 of 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.